From the dry lipids, we will have to study about the fatty acids in some detail. So, what are fatty acids? Fatty acid can also be considered as a building block unit of different lipids, but not necessarily. We have a lot of lipids or different classes of lipid that does not contain fatty acid, but they have a type of acid that have totally similar property as fatty acid. So fatty acid may be defined as an organic acid that occur in natural triglyceride and is a monocarboxylic acid ranging in chain length from C4 to 24 carbon atoms, and they are obtained by the hydrolysis of fats. So this is just a basic definition. Organic compound is an organic acid as it contains the chain of carbon, so it is considered as an organic acid. Occurs in a natural triglyceride. It is an important part of triglyceride and is a monocarboxylic acid. Why monocarboxylic acid? Because it contains one carboxylic functional group. So when we will study the examples of fatty acid, then you will realize that how it contains one carboxylic acid with large number of carbons. So one carboxylic acid, when one molecule of carboxylic acid is attached with a large molecule of carbon atoms that range from C4 to up to C24. Means it can have 4 carbons and can have 24 carbons, but only one carboxylic acid, then this molecule is considered as fatty acid. And how it is obtained? When we hydrolyze, what is hydrolysis? Basically, when we break down large molecules of lipids or fats by the action of water. Okay, when we break down large molecules of water, large molecule of lipids by the action of water, this process of hydrolysis, then it obtain fatty acids. So we have different types of fatty acids. So fatty acids can either be saturated fatty acid or it can either be unsaturated fatty acids. What is mean by saturated fatty acid? Saturated fatty acid means that it is a more stable molecule and it cannot break or substitute its elements very easily. So when we have a saturated fatty acid, then it is a more stable molecule and more strong molecule, and always saturated compounds are more stable than unsaturated compounds because they does not contain any double bond. So what are saturated fatty acid? Any fatty acid that does not contain any double bond is considered as saturated fatty acids. Then we have also unsaturated fatty acid, and these molecules contain one or more double bonds. So we have a journal formula for saturated fatty acid, as we have studied that they are monocarboxylic acid compounds. So here it is the carboxylic acid group, functional group COOH, and here it is a carbon chain. So when a carboxylic acid attached with a carbon chain, then it consists of, it forms saturated fatty acid. So the most basic structure of saturated fatty acid is acetic acid. It is a very common acid, and we have used and in our labs this acid we have used a lot of time. So this is the basic structure of acetic acid, that is CH3COOH. Now it falls in the category of fatty acid. Why? Because it contains 4 carbons, that is no, it it does not contain as 4 carbons, but it considered as a fatty acid because it contains one carboxylic group that is attached to a carbon methyl group, and it falls in the journal formula of fatty acid, that is CnH2n plus 1. Now the next example, if we have propionic acid, it also falls in the formula of fatty acid, that is C2H5 COOH. Then we have butyric acid, then we have caproic acid, then we have palmitic and stearic acid. So palmitic and stearic acid, and we just read about that palmitic and acetic acid. They are also the example of fatty acid, and these are the important constituents of our cell membrane as well. So as the carbon chain increases, then we have a different types of fatty acids, and it increases up to 24 carbons. Now, saturated fatty acids having 10 carbons or less number of carbons are called as lower fatty acid. Example, acetic acid, butyric acid, and saturated fatty acids having more than 10 carbons are called as higher fatty acids. So, we can also categorize the fatty acids in two types. That is the saturated fatty acids that contain 10 carbons or less than 10 carbon, they consider as lower fatty acid. And the examples are acetic acid, butyric acid, and when the carbon chain is more than 10 carbons, then it is considered as higher fatty acid, that is stearic acid or palmitic acid. And milk contains significant amount of lower fatty acid. So milk is an example of a natural resource for lower fatty acids that contain less than 10 carbon atoms. Now we have unsaturated fatty acid. Unsaturated are further classified according to the degree of unsaturation. What is the mean of degree of unsaturation? It means the presence of number of double bonds. The number of double bonds determine the degree of unsaturation. The more the double bond we have, the more unsaturation we have. So unsaturation means we have room for another molecules, and these molecules are less stable than saturated molecules. So the degree of unsaturation is number of double bonds. So the first one is monounsaturated, and they are also known as monoethenoid fatty acids. They contain one double bond, as the name indicate. Mono means one, and we have monounsaturated fatty acids are containing one double bond. And the journal formula is CnH2n minus 1 COOH. So just check the difference between the general formula of saturated fatty acid and monounsaturated fatty acid. In the saturated fatty acid, we have CnH2n plus 1, and here we have CnH2n minus 1. And the example is oleic acid. Oleic acid is nearly found in all natural fats in our body, and their formula, chemical formula of oleic acid, C17H33COOH, and it has only one double bond in its structure. So this is an important point to remember, that oleic acid is an example of monounsaturated fatty acid, and it contains only one double bond. Now the next category is polyunsaturated or polyethenoid fatty acids. They contain more than one double bond. So any fatty acid that contain more than one double bond are considered as polyunsaturated fatty acids. There are three polyunsaturated fatty acids of biological importance. So we have three common examples of polyunsaturated molecules. That are, the first one is linoleic acid. What are linoleic acid? It contains two double bonds between C9 and C10, and between C12 and C13. And their journal formula is CnH2n minus 3 COOH. So linoleic acid also contain only one carboxylic group, that is COOH, and it also contain two double bonds in its structure. So that's why it is fall into the category of fatty acid, and specifically polyunsaturated fatty acids. And the dietary source of linoleic acid, it is present in sufficient amount in peanut oil, corn seed oil, soybean oil, and egg yolk. So these are the resources of linoleic acid. Linoleic acid, linolenic acid. So there is a only small difference between the spelling of these two acids, and we have linoleic acid and we have linolenic acid. What are linolenic acid? It contains three double bonds in between C9 to C10, and we have C12 and C13, and also in between C15 and C16. And the general formula is CnH2n minus 5COOH. So, so when we have three double bonds in a fatty acid, then it considered in the series of linolenic acid series. And these are also classes of, they are not just examples, they are the classes, and we have different types of fatty acid molecules that fall into these classes, and it fall into this general formula. So any fatty acid that fall into this general formula will be considered as linolenic acid. And the dietary source is found frequently with linolenic acid. Linolenic acid, it is found frequently with linolenic acid. So the sources of these two series of fatty acids is almost similar. So, but particularly it is present in linseed oil, rapeseed oil, soybean oil, fish viscera, and liver oil. Fish viscera means organs. So it is contained in different organs of fish, and also in liver oil, that is called liver oil. Next one is also a very important molecule, that is arachidonic acid series. So maybe you have heard about arachidonic acid. So it is a very important part of our cell membrane, and arachidonic acid is have very significant physiological properties, as it is a very important part for the production and for the synthesis of prostaglandins and leukotrienes in our body that are responsible for a series of physiological actions. So what are arachidonic acid? It contains 4 double bond, and their journal formula is CnH2n minus 7COOH. So this is basically a journal formula of arachidonic acid, and any fatty acids that fall with this journal formula is considered as arachidonic acid. And the dietary source of arachidonic acid found in small quantities with linoleic acid and linolenic acid, particularly is present in peanut oil, also found in animal fat and including liver fat. So these are the simple sources of arachidonic acid, and let's talk about physiological function of arachidonic acid, what arachidonic acid are, and why it is so important and significant in our body. Because arachidonic acid is present in our cell membrane, and we have a very common enzyme, very well known enzyme that is known as cyclooxygenase and lipoxygenase. So these two enzymes act on arachidonic acid and initiate a well known pathway that is known as arachidonic acid pathway, and convert the arachidonic acid into prostaglandin by cyclooxygenase enzyme and into leukotrienes by lipoxygenase enzyme. And the drugs that are NSAIDs are also act on this arachidonic acid pathway and to decrease the perception of pain and decrease inflammation and different pharmacological effects. And their mechanism is to inhibit the action of cyclooxygenase enzyme, basically to decrease the production of synthesis of prostaglandins by arachidonic acid. So in future classes and future years of pharmacology and biochemistry, we will study in detail about the arachidonic acid pathway. And the important known is these three polyunsaturated fatty acids, that are linoleic acid, linolenic acid, and arachidonic acid, are also known as essential fatty acids. They have to be provided in the diet as they cannot synthesize in the body. So this is the most important point that we have to remember. They are considered in a specialized category of fatty acids that are essential fatty acids. And just like we have studied about, we have different types of essential amino acids and non-essential amino acids. So non-essential amino acids are the molecules that our body already synthesized by its own, and we does not need to take it from the diet. Similarly, the essential amino acids are molecules that must be provided in the diet. So similarly, we have essential fatty acids, and they also have to be provided in the diet, and they cannot be synthesized in our body. Next, the category and the last one is branch chain fatty acids. What are branch chain fatty acids? Odd and even carbon branch chain fatty acids occur in animals and plant lipids. So when we have a straight chain of fatty acids and that is branched at a specific point or at a specific carbon, then these complex structure of fatty acids is known as branch chain fatty acids. The most common examples are sebaceous glands. Sebum contain branch chain fatty acid, and branch chain fatty acid also contained in foods that are phytanic acid in butter. So these are the examples. Sebum, and we all know about this. What sebum is? Sebaceous glands that secrete sebum on our skin. That is the oil that is responsible for different skin condition. Usually acne. Acne is basically due to the overproduction of sebum and sebum also maintain the tone of our skin. It is responsible, or it is very important to maintain the tone of our skin, because without sebum on our skin, it will get dry very quickly. So sebum also a very important physiological fatty acids that is present in our body, and is an example of branch chain fatty acid. Another example of branch chain fatty acid is phytanic acid. It is present in butter. Then we have substituted fatty acid. What are substituted fatty acid? In hydroxy fatty acid and methyl fatty acid, one or more hydrogen atoms have been replaced by OH group or methyl group respectively. So what it says that in hydroxy fatty acid, when we have hydroxy fatty acids, that means we have a OH group in our fatty acid, and it replaces one hydrogen atom. When one hydrogen atom of any fatty acid is replaced by a OH group, then this fatty acid is considered as hydroxy fatty acid. And if one hydrogen of any fatty acid is replaced by a methyl group, then this also considered as substituted fatty acids. So both unsaturated and saturated hydroxy fatty acids. So we have both types of saturated or unsaturated. Means it may contain a single bond or that are saturated fatty acid, and it also may contain a double bond that will fall into category of unsaturated hydroxy fatty acid. Particularly with long chains are found in nature. So the example are cerebronic acid of brain glycolipids. Cerebronic acid also a part of cerebrum, and it is a very long chain of carbon atom, and it is a example of substituted fatty acid. And another example is retinolic acid in castor oil. And another type of fatty acids is cyclic fatty acids, and they are also can also be known as aromatic fatty acids. And these are the fatty acids that contain any cyclic structure. If the cyclic structure is an aromatic structure like benzene ring, then it is considered aromatic fatty acid, and it can a simple hexane or another any example of cyclic structure. So fatty acid bearing a cyclic group are present in some seeds, and the most common examples are colmogric acid that is obtained from colmogra seeds, and we have hydrocarpic acids. So I hope you will study about these molecules or plants in pharmacognosy. So we have just have to consider these as an example of cyclic fatty acid. So in the last, and we will discuss the biological importance. So it is very important to discuss the biological importance of every biological molecules that is in our body. So what are the biological? We have few points about the biological importance of lipids. Lipids are important dietary constituent and act as a fuel in the body In some respects, lipids is even superior to carbohydrate as a raw material for combustion since it yield more energy per gram. So this is a very important point to consider when we do the process of combustion with carbohydrate. Then this process will be obviously exothermic and it release energy, and the energy released by 1 gram of carbohydrate molecule is basically 4.0 calories. Okay, so when we do the combustion of carbohydrate, it releases the energy of 4.0 calories. That means 1 gram of carbohydrate contain 4 calories. But if we do the combustion of a lipid molecule, it release 9.5 9.5 calories of energy. So this conclude that lipid molecules can hold a large amount of energy as compared to carbohydrate molecules because of its composition, because of its chemical structure, this heterogeneous groups of compound, the nature of this nature of chemical structure. Because of this nature of chemical structure, it can hold a large amount of energy as compared to carbohydrate. So this is very important biological importance or biomedical importance for lipids, and because of this importance, it is applied in different biomedical processes. It can be stored in the body in almost unlimited amount in contrast to carbohydrates. So this is also an important part. Carbohydrate basically is stored in body in the form of glycogen. Obviously, we all know that, and for plants we have starch. So our body only bear a limited amount of carbohydrate in the form of glycogen. But lipids is very less harmful as compared to the stored form of carbohydrate, that is glycogen. So the stored form of lipid is usually very less harmful. So it can be almost in unlimited amount, not unlimited. Everything have some limit, obviously, but as compared to carbohydrates, we can store the lipids in our body in very large amounts. Some deposit of lipid may exert an insulating effect in the body, while lipids around internal organs like kidney, etc., may provide padding and protect the organ. So, this is another one of the most important characteristics or most important property of lipids, that it can protect organs. It can protect every other organ. So for example, the most important organ on our body, that is brain, it is protected by a blood brain barrier, and blood brain barrier is composed of lipids. So by a specialized property that they are insoluble in water. So this is the most significant property of lipids, that they are insoluble in water. Because of this property, they protect everything uh, or every organ in our body. For example, they even protect a single cell. Every cell is composed of a cell membrane, and cell membrane is composed of, the major part of cell membranes is basically lipids, and because of their insolubility, because of their hydrophobic property, they protect the cells and organs of our body. Building materials breakdown product of fat can be utilized for building biological active materials. So what are the breakdown products of fats? They are basically fatty acids. So fatty acids are also used as a building material for different biological material. Lipid also supply so-called essential fatty acids which cannot be synthesized in body, are essential in the diet for health and growth. So we must take a certain amount of certain amount of lipid in our diet. So without the lipid or essential fatty acid, our diet is incomplete, and we must take certain amount of lipid in our diet for normal and healthy growth. The nervous system is particularly rich in lipid, especially contain types and are essential for proper functioning. So why nervous system is a particularly rich in lipids? So why it is very important for nervous system to have higher amount of lipid? Think about it. Why? So The main reason is that the nervous system is work by the conduction of electrons, as we say, as we know that it is basically a flow of electrons that is happening in all over the nervous system, in the neuron and in the brain cells. So the isolation is very important. So इसकी एग्जांपल हम जो है सिंपल वायरिंग से ले सकते हैं. अगर हमारे घर के अंदर वायरिंग है, एक हमारे पास जो है मेन स्विच बोर्ड होता है, उसके अंदर से सारे वायर्स निकल के जो है हमारे डिफरेंट जो है रूम्स में जाते हैं, और कोई जो है फैन में जाता है, कोई लाइट्स में जाता है, कोई डिफरेंट जगह पर जाते हैं. तो ये वायर जो है बहुत ही ज़्यादा, अगर हम इसका एक लाइन होती है, उसके अंदर जो हमारे पास बहुत सारे वायर्स का कॉम्प्लेक्स मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा आपस में मिक्स हुए बहुत हैं. तो हम उनको जो है अलग अलग किस तरह कर सकते हैं, अगर उनके ऊपर हम आइसोलेशन करते हैं. आइसोलेशन के लिए जो है हम उसके ऊपर एक स्पेसिफिक टाइप का पॉलीमर होता है, एक रबर होता है, ताकि वो जो है आपस में करंट जो है वो ज़्यादा शॉर्ट सर्किट ना हो. इसी तरह हमारी बॉडी के अंदर जो वायरिंग है वो बहुत ही ज़्यादा कॉम्प्लेक्स है एज़ कम्पेयर टू आवर होम्स. तो इस कॉम्प्लेक्स वायरिंग को लिए अल्लाह ताला ने जो है हमारे पास एक नेचुरल इंसुलेटर हमें दिया है इन द फॉर्म ऑफ लिपिड्स, जो कि हमारे पास माइलिन शीट होती है. इसको हम माइलिन शीट कहते हैं. सो माइलिन शीट इज़ बेसिकली कंपोज ऑफ लिपिड्स एंड दिस इज़ अ नेचुरल इंसुलेटर. And because of this myelin sheet our neurons can work properly. and और जो हमारे पास जो करंट होता है वो एक सिंगल डायरेक्शन में फ्लो करता है. अगर माइलिन शीट नहीं होगी तो वो एक स्ट्रेट डायरेक्शन में कभी भी फ्लो नहीं करेगा, वो हमेशा जो है डिफरेंट डायरेक्शन में फ्लो करेगा और बराबर वाले न्यूरॉन के पास जो है ट्रांसफर हो जाएगा. तो जब भी हमारे पास ओल्ड एज में बेसिकली जब हमारे पास न्यूरॉन्स डैमेज हो जाते हैं, वो डैमेज होने का मतलब ये होता है कि उनकी माइलिन शीट डैमेज हो गई है. तो माइलिन शीट डैमेज हो जाती है तो हमारे पास जो करंट का फ्लो होता है वो एक न्यूरॉन से दूसरे न्यूरॉन में चला जाता है. करंट के फ्लो को हम फिजियोलॉजिकल टर्म में जो है नर्व इम्पल्स कहते हैं. तो नर्व इम्पल्स हमारे पास जब एक न्यूरॉन से दूसरे न्यूरॉन में जाती है तो उसकी वजह से हमारे पास डिफरेंट सिम्टम्स आते हैं. और जाहिर जो नर्व इम्पल्स है वो कोई ना कोई हमारे पास ऑर्गन या फिर कोई ना कोई हमारे बॉडी के पार्ट को कंट्रोल कर रही है. तो वहाँ पर जो है बेसिकली हमारे पास वो पार्ट जो है वो ऑर्गन जो है वो डिस्टर्ब होगा. इसीलिए जो है हमारे पास जो सबसे ज़्यादा क्वांटिटी होती है लिपिड की वो हमारे पास नर्वस सिस्टम में होती है टू प्रोवाइड आइसोलेशन, टू प्रोवाइड सॉरी इंसुलेशन. एंड दिस इंसुलेशन इज नेसेसरी फॉर द प्रॉपर कंडक्शन ऑफ नर्व इम्पल्स. Next point is some vitamins like vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E and K are fat soluble vitamins and they are necessary, and hence lipid is necessary for these vitamins, as we all know that they are considered in the category of fat soluble vitamins. Lipoproteins and phospholipid are important constituent of many natural membranes such as cell wall and cell organelles like mitochondria. And lipoprotein also carriers of triglyceride, cholesterol and different PL in our body. So we have different types of molecules that cannot be transferred from one organ to another organ without the help of lipids. So lipids, or the most common example of there are lipoproteins, are basically very significant, very important for the transport of one molecule to the different molecule. So these are the biological importance of lipid. उम्मीद करता हूँ आप सबको समझ आया होगा, और इसका आप लोगों ने रिव्यू भी करना है बुक से, और फिर उसके हिसाब से अपने नोट्स प्रिपेयर करने हैं और पेपर के लिए इसको जो है कंसिडर करना चाहिए. बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है हमारे पास पेपर के लिए. तो इसको जो है ठीक से जो है आप लोग पढ़िएगा, और जो भी आप लोगों के क्वेश्चंस हैं वो मुझे फॉरवर्ड कर दें, तो इंशाल्लाह जो है उनका जो है उसका आंसर भी आपको मिल जाएगा. इंशाल्लाह जब यूनिवर्सिटी खुलेगी तो आई होप कि हमारे पास इतना टाइम होगा कि हम ये जो हमने जो ऑनलाइन टॉपिक्स पढ़े हम इनको एक दफ़ा रिव्यू भी कर लें. तो इंशाल्लाह हम इसको रिव्यू भी कर लेंगे फिजिकल क्लास में. तो यहाँ पर हमारे लिपिड का टॉपिक ख़त्म होता है, और अभी हमारे पास प्रोटीन कंप्लीट हो गया है, कार्बोहाइड्रेट कंप्लीट हो गया, और लिपिड्स कंप्लीट हो गया था. ठीक है. सो दिस इज़ इट फ्रॉम दिस लेक्चर. थैंक यू सो मच एंड खुदा हाफिज़.